Okay, we are just about to go live with this webinar. I'm also live on Facebook, so you will have to forgive me whilst I just get everything sorted out here. I hope everyone had a good Christmas. Hope Santa was good to you all. We took a little break there, not much of a break though. If you're not familiar with where I live, I'm in Aberdeen, Scotland, and tradition has it that actually New Year, Hogmanay, is sort of a bigger event than Christmas, but that seems to be changing to um, now. It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still a big thing here in Scotland, Hogmanay. So we're kind of we're gearing up for that. This is kind of like the no man's land of the year. That's why I always call it. I don't even know what day of the week it is at this point. Um, it's just the way it goes this time of year, but too much turkey, too much food, too much candy, all that good stuff. But thank you for joining us on this webinar tonight. This webinar is going to go into detail on how to market your IT business using video. So I'm going to show you some really good sort of juicy content in regards to how you can market your IT business using video, what the effects it will have on your business, and some of the tactics that I have used over the last 12 months personally, and the tactics that you can employ in your IT business using videos. So really about, it's a new decade that we're entering, 2020, and starting off on the right foot more than anything else. So you find that there's a lot of your competitors that are not using video, so you have an upper hand if you start using videos. So this is really just to give you a guide to show you how you can use video to market your IT business. And at the end of it, we do have the MSP Video Academy, which I'll go into a little bit of detail. It kind of helps you sort of fulfill I guess the process, the system that I'm going to show you that's worked for IT rock stars. So let me bring up my slides here. 2 seconds whilst I do this and get rid of all my crazy windows here. I'm a bit of a tab junkie. I always have too much stuff open up on my desktop. Let's just show the slides. This is all we're really interested in. So before we start this evening, just a disclaimer more than anything else. This masterclass, webinar, whatever you want to call it, it is a masterclass on video for IT companies, but it's specifically not for IT businesses that are still doing break fix, charged by the hour work. So if you are still doing that type of work, this really is not going to apply to you because the system that I'm going to show you in this webinar is basically built for attracting monthly recurring revenue customers. So it's business IT support specifically. So it's really for managed service providers and IT companies that are providing IT support on a monthly recurring revenue basis. So if you're doing break fix, if you're in the residential market, this isn't for you, okay? So with that out of the way, the next point in this disclaimer, employees, this isn't for you. So this is ideally and it's specifically for IT business owners that run a technology business, managed service provider business, that type of company. If you are an employee, so if you're in the sales role or the marketing role, whilst you might find some value what I'm going to show you here, sadly, this will not work for you. It's specifically for the business owner. Now, the reason I say that is because the business owner is the face of the business, okay? And when you start doing video marketing, you're going to find that the face of the business will be the person that's doing the video. So if you are an employee and then you leave the company, then you kind of take the whole audience with you. So that's why it's more geared towards the actual business owner or someone that has a share in the IT company. So if you are an employee, you can watch the video. I mean, I've got right here in the text, either stop the video now or share it with your boss. Ideally, you want to share it with your boss and show them what they could be doing when it comes to video marketing for their IT business, okay? So with that being said, this masterclass is for IT businesses that have the capacity to take on new clients and have an IT sales process. So what do I mean by that? Well, basically you have the capacity to expand. So if you're at full limit just now at the moment when it comes to managed service contracts, and if you can't manage to take on any more business, this really isn't for you, because what will happen once you start employing this system is you'll start getting inquiries, and people will want to start doing business with you, and you'll find that this will lead to new managed service contracts. Okay, so you must have the capacity to actually take on new business. There's no point in doing this if you can't take on any new business. Secondly, you must have an IT sales process. So what I'm going to show you is the marketing. It's the bit before the sale. It's the bit before you meet the business owner, meet the person that's deciding on that IT support provider. I'm showing you the marketing process that leads up to the sales meeting. So that introductory meeting with that potential new client and that whole sales process, that's a completely different thing than what I'm going to show you here today. This is the bit, certainly from when I was doing IT sales, this is the bit before the IT sale. So it's a bit about attracting prospects and quality leads. It was the biggest pain point that I had. And this is a long-term plan for your IT business. So this just isn't a case of do it over the course of 30 days and you will see instant results. This is the case of do it over at least 12 months and you will get results. Certainly when I was doing IT sales, that whole monthly recurring revenue contracts, managed service contracts, from the first initial meeting up until the signing on the dotted line, it would take on average 6 months. I might be just a really poor salesman. That might be the case. Your average might be better than that. But this is a long-term plan for your business. So it's not just one of these things that you can pick up off the shelf and then just think you're going to miraculously get results. It's just like anything else in life, you have to put in the effort and you will get reward from it. So disclaimer now over with, I can actually go into the details of what you're going to learn here in the webinar tonight, masterclass. So what you're going to learn is the case for video. So it might not already be obvious to you why you should be doing video marketing in your IT business. So I'm going to kind of outline that for you. And then we're going to do a sort of deep dive into the stats that have worked for me. So what I've done over the last year is video marketing, and I'm going to show you the statistics of doing that video marketing. And that video marketing, the thing that that's worked the best for me is going live for a 30-day straight period, taking a month off, and then using some revenue on that month off to boost those videos that I've recorded. So you go live for 30 days. It's a really good sort of New Year's resolution or marketing challenge for your business. But if you can go live for 30 days, I'm going to show you what that has done personally at IT Rockstars for us here, and what it can do for you. I'm also going to show you how to come up with content every single day that connects with your audience. So one of the hardest things about going live on a regular basis is coming up with content. Now you might have some good ideas of the type of thing that you would talk about, but there is a formula to the content that you come up with so that it attracts the right type of customers, clients, but it also gets them to start thinking about using you as an IT provider. So I'm going to show you the formula for that. And then I'm going to show you how to weaponize your videos. So when I mention weaponize them, I'm basically saying taking some capital, a little bit of money, and then boosting the videos via some ad spend. And I can show you exactly what that will do for you. And then at the end of it all, we're going to have a Q&A. So if you've got any questions, we can leave them to the end and we can answer them there. So before we start, we're almost like at the actual content at this point. How long have we been in? 9 minutes. That's not too bad. It was 20 minutes last time. So a little bit about me. So I am the 12-year-old desktop engineer. No, I'm not. I was a desktop engineer at the age of 12. Got my first PC back then. And the first thing I did was literally take the whole thing apart, put it back together, and then attempted to format the hard drive, used the F disk at the time. This was back in Windows 95 days. And then I attempted to put the whole thing back together, reinstall the OS. And at that time, it was extremely difficult because there were device drivers were a thing of myth. If you the internet was not a big thing, so you couldn't just go onto the manufacturer's website and download the device driver. Obviously now with Windows 10, it's not a big deal, but back then you needed that device driver to get like your sound card to work, to get your graphics card to work. That was where I cut my teeth back age 12, and what was basically a hobby has turned into a fully fledged career. I was still playing with toys. I needed to grow up back then. I say back then, but probably the last 5 years, I realized that this hobby that I had at age 12 that kind of turned into a career, I was still really doing the same thing. I was just fixing PCs. Even though it was in a managed service environment, I needed to change and actually grow up, and then sort of come back out a little bit from that sort of engineer role into sort of a more challenging role, which was sales, business development, and then eventually being owner of an MSP. So yeah, I found it, the sales side of things, whilst it was a challenge, going from that engineer role, the techie role, it was the hardest thing that I found with the sales was actually the leads more than anything else. And I wish I had this formula back then, because once I could eventually sit down with a potential new client that was interested in the IT services and technology solutions that I could provide them, that was really easy to speak to them and tell them what they could do and how we were different from the rest of the pack. That was the easy bit, getting them to sign on the dotted line. The hardest bit was actually finding people that were looking for my services at the time. And that's where this whole marketing piece comes in. This was the missing piece in the puzzle that I'm going to show you. It was the biggest pain point that I had. So yeah, I've got here in the last line, big pain point, getting in front of the qualified leads, business looking for IT services. So yeah, that was it. So that's very briefly about me. I mean, I was, as I mentioned, the 12-year-old desktop engineer. I went into an IT manager role. I was managing 600 user endpoints, 40 sites, all by myself. That was great fun. I had it managed over remote desktop services. Previously it was Citrix. Then I worked for an MSP in the technical role, senior systems engineer. And then I started the sales side of things, and then I eventually started my own MSP. And I realized actually when I was doing my own MSP, I didn't want to run an MSP because I know how much work's involved. So your IT business, I know how much work is involved. And I'm just amazed that IT business owners actually do what they do, because I certainly can't, because I am lazy. So that is hard fact. I love automation. I love the easy solution. The easier, the better. That's what I always say. So when it comes to generating qualified leads for your IT business, what I'm going to show you is the easiest way to do it. It takes literally 3 minutes of your day. There is no money involved, so there's no budget required, and you will start to attract new business. So what I'm going to show you is quite powerful. There's not a lot of people doing it. The people that are doing it, you may have already seen in other roles, other guises, likes of Gary Vaynerchuk, Frank Kern. They're the bigger people doing this already. And you might be aware of other people that are video marketing face-to-face. They're going live on camera. But I'm going to show you how it can specifically work for an IT business and all of that. So let's get on to the next slide here. I don't want to bore you too much. So the case for daily live video. So it takes, as I mentioned, it takes 3 minutes to produce. So it's literally the device in your pocket. You are hitting record on your device. You're going live to camera. And because you're going live, you're going to stumble, you're going to mumble, you're going to mess things up. But that's cool. And the reason for that it being cool is because it is very much the human element. It's a very, I'm looking for the right word, but you could go and get like a $10,000 marketing video created for your IT business. And you'll find that it will have less engagement than going live to camera. And people connect more with the human element. There's just more character that yourself, you'll come across more on the camera, in front of the camera, on a daily basis than you would through a sort of marketing, highly produced video. And I've done the stats in this. I have in the past had marketing videos done that are of good quality. I've got a friend that does Netflix movies. He has all of the kit, the film kit, to produce really high quality video, and the engagement sucks compared to going live. So that's the first point. You also have multiple touch points with the buyer. So the reason for going, you could get that one really nice looking video. You're not going to have as much engagement in it, and you'll find that your potential buyers are going to watch it, one time if you're lucky. If you're going live to camera over a 30-day period for 30 days straight, you're going to have multiple touch points. So if you've ever thought about when you're buying a car, you start thinking that you need a new car, then you start looking at cars, then you kind of make up your mind what car you want, and then it kind of consumes all your thoughts that you want this new car. You start seeing the same car, you're driving around. I remember when it was like a Ford Focus at the time, and this happened to me, and I just started seeing this Ford Focus everywhere. No, it was like a cool car. I thought I've kind of upgraded since then. Quite liked it though, because the repairs were really cheap on it. But those touch points, it's the same in your IT business. You're going to, I think the statistic is around about eight touch points before someone becomes a prospect or potential buyer of a service or product. Well, the same's true in managed services. It's a much more boring topic than buying a car, but you're going to find that prospect or that potential buyer, they're going to have multiple touch points with you in your marketing, in your sales funnel. And the more of those touch points that you can create, the better chance. The other point with this touch point is not the whole market is ready to buy now, today. So they might see that highly produced marketing video, but they're not ready to buy. They're not ready to speak to you about IT services. However, if you're going live to camera for over a 30-day period, you're going to get a bigger segment of that market. Well, so not ready to buy today, in 30 days from now, or sometime in between, there's a good chance that they're going to take note of what you're saying to camera. The last thing I've got here, bullet point I've got here, is that the competition aren't doing this. This gives you tremendous value. And now some of your competitors might already be doing this, but more than likely they're not. And the ones that are already using video to market are doing it wrong. I'm going to show you exactly why they're doing it wrong. It's one of the key things within the content, the formula of your daily live videos I'm going to show you here today. So let's, without further ado, go into the stats. I've got here December stats, but I'm actually going to show you stats for the year. Let me bring up my next window here. Give me a second. And I think we'll start actually with the video views. So we'll kind of work it backwards. So I'm going to show you how many views that I've had, and then we can work it back into actual sales. So bear with me whilst I get my browser up on the screen here. I'm sharing my slides at the moment. Two seconds. I'm so sluck with this. Okay, let me stop sharing. See if I can get the right screen up. I'm going to show you both LinkedIn and Facebook, because we go live to Facebook first. That's the whole point of this, and then you post the same video up onto LinkedIn. Most of your audience is probably going to be on LinkedIn, but there's a reason why we go live to Facebook. So let's start with Facebook here. Okay. You should be able to see my screen now. If I go to Insights, this is an IT Rockstars. We're looking at videos. I actually kind of want to do it for the whole year. So let's go back to January and up to today, which at the time of recording this, December 28th. Come on, Facebook. Okay, so we have had 47,000, almost 50,000 video, 3-second video views, and 25,000 minutes watched. And this is all free organic views. I'm paid for any of this stuff that you're seeing here, okay? So if I actually select by the amount of views, you can see here going live. I started this back in, this is the 10th of February. I actually started in January doing daily live videos. But you can see here the type of traffic that I'm getting with live videos. Now, the reason that live works so well on Facebook is because Facebook's organic algorithm just takes that live video and kind of shoves it in the face of people that they think are going to be interested in what you're saying. And that's why I have so many views on these videos. I have done some promotion on these videos. So I have shared some of the videos, some of the higher viewed videos, to some Facebook groups that I'm a member of. So if you're in an IT business, you could do the same thing. You can go live on Facebook and you could share these videos, your videos, to local Facebook groups. So like a really good example, as I'm here up in Aberdeen, Scotland, there's a group called Grampian Business Finder, and it's basically just a bunch of local businesses that are on there promoting their services, or people that are looking for services. So you can go and share your video to that, and it means that the whole local business community is going to go and see your live videos, and then you start to get followers, you get people liking your videos, they eventually like your page. If they interact with your video, Facebook just has, the way the algorithm works, your live videos start to appear in their stream. So that kind of gives you an idea of the kind of views that I'm getting. I mean, it's not a lot. I mean, but I guess, you know, if you're getting over 1,000 views, I think that's awesome, actually. But I mean, how many people do you need to see your videos on a regular basis? How many new clients you need over the course of a year? When I was running an MSP, if I could acquire 2 new clients every month, I was sweet. So we're looking at like maybe 24 people. So you do the math on that, it's fairly easy. So that's the views. And inside every one of these videos, I mentioned our website, itrockstars.net, and I have an offer that basically states, check out itrockstars.net if you're looking to generate more qualified leads for your IT business. People hear that, they go to IT Rockstars, and then they find out more information. I also drop a retargeting pixel on them. If they go into Google Analytics, and if I show you what this actually looks like from the stats side of things, we'll go to the, oops, we're going to go to content actually. So my sales page is not the home page. It's actually this page here, MSP-marketing. That is my sales page. People read the content and they're on the home page, and if they go to this page here, MSP Marketing, it means they're interested in what I am selling. So let's just look back at the last year, and all of my effort in regards to marketing has been going live to Facebook, and I'm posting that live video up to a LinkedIn audience. So let's just see what that has done for my website traffic, mentioning the Facebook, mentioning my itrockstars.net website. So we can see here that the most highly trafficked pages on my website, the home page. Then we've got a directory where IT businesses can actually list their IT business. I had a really good blog post here on SEO. For MSPs, that did very well. It's got almost the same amount of views as the directory, which is quite cool. But this is really interesting. Number 4, we have had over 1,000 unique visitors, 1,192 unique visitors. And I have a 10% conversion rate on that page. So basically anyone that goes to that page and reads the content and watches the video on it usually become a customer. Now, obviously what I'm selling is different from an IT business, but if you can work out what your conversion rate is on your contact page, then you can work out how many people you need to come to your website. So I'm very happy with this number, as you can probably guess, because all of the marketing that I've done this year has been literally hit record on my phone, doing a 2-3 minute video, and I've got 10% of that. And that is actually quite accurate. 10% of that number as actual customers. So it gives you really good insight into IT rock stars, but you can model what I'm doing here in your own IT business as well. Let's go on to the next slide. So that's the case for video, why you would want to do video. Let's get into the next slide here, 2 seconds. So one of the biggest challenges about doing, if you were to go straight live for 30 days straight, is coming up with content on a regular basis that connects with your audience and helps you build an audience. Now, there is a strategy behind this, and it's not something that I've come up with. I will admit that this strategy is something that I have modeled off of bigger internet gurus than myself. You have probably seen them online, and the system that they use, I'm not going to go and mention their names, but I'm going to basically go into the formula with you. So it's the people, well, I will mention their names. It's people like Gary Vaynerchuk, Frank Kern, Grant Cardone. They all have a similar model when it comes to video, when they're posting out videos, and they post out on a regular basis. And you can model what they're doing in your IT business, the whole strategy and the content behind them. So the first thing I've got on this slide is if you are not helping in your videos, you're failing, okay? So if you're talking about the really cool new service or product that you have, so maybe you've got a new backup solution and you're telling everyone on your live video about this really cool solution you've got, you're actually failing because you're not helping your audience. That doesn't help them by you telling them that you've got this cool service or this cool product, or you've just won this really cool award, or you've taken on this new employee. That does not help them, okay? So you have to get that through your skull. I fail at this quite often on video, and I slap myself around a little bit when I know that I've done this, because I know the best way to attract an audience and to maintain and engage an audience is by helping them. So how do you do that? By actually helping them. And when you help people in your videos, they will start to follow you. They'll start to like what they see. They start to like you, and then eventually they'll start to trust you. And then when you go and follow up with them, if they follow up with you, if they can't reach out to you, or if you reach out to them, there's a really good chance that they're going to be open to a discussion. And guess what? When it comes down to the actual sale, you've got the upper hand because that prospect has seen you on camera for 30 days or more, and they're biased towards what you have to say. They become one of your avid followers, okay? Now, not the whole audience is going to love this. So people that see your videos, about 30% of them are going to scroll right past them. They're going to give them the time of day. They won't even know you exist. The other 30% may even detest what you do. They might not like the way that you come across. You might look extremely amateur like me. Hey, I've got this really dodgy backdrop. I'm wearing this crazy hat, but that actually filters out certain people that I don't want to work with. Okay. And then there's that other 30%. They're the followers. They're the people that like what you're doing and want to see more of your content. So they're the people that you must realize that exist in the world. There will be internet trolls. There'll be people that will comment on your videos, or people that will ridicule you, maybe to your face online, or maybe offline. It could be competitors. It could be ex-employees. It could be connections you've already got on LinkedIn. But guess what? It doesn't matter what they think. You basically have to grow a set, and that's something that we teach within the MSP Video Academy, is actually how to overcome maybe some of the fears that you've got about going live on video. So that's there's a whole module dedicated to that. But once you've got over that, and once you're going live, and once once you get into the habit of actually helping people in your videos, like producing quality content that's actually going to help people, I use content pillars. So I've got 3 for IT Rockstars. So our 3 content pillars. So the first one is build an audience online. The second one is educate that audience with quality content. and the third one is follow up. So that are my 3 content pillars. And what I use those pillars for, those 3 pillars, is if I have to come up with a topic or a story for the video, the daily video, it has to be in line with one of these content pillars. So a really good example of this for an IT business, for someone like you that's in business, a content pillar could be secure. So, cybersecurity is such a big topic. And there's so many topics with under that being secure, and that could be one of your content pillars. Second one, be prepared. So again, that kind of, there's maybe a cyber element to that, but more of a disaster recovery, or if you have been affected by ransomware, is being prepared, having a backup plan, a disaster recovery plan, having an image, having backups that work, testing the backups work. So that could be that's a really useful content pillar for your audience. And then being proactive. So that could be the whole managed service solution that you offer, the RMM solution. It could even be the whole digital transformation that you do as your unique selling point. So the be proactive approach. So those 3 content pillars are the basis of the topics that you can come up with. And the way that I work it is I will never do the same content pillar twice. So one day it's be secure, second day be prepared, third day be proactive. I will never do 2 that are both about being prepared one day after the other. I just kind of mix it up, and it keeps things fresh as well. So that's how you come up with content. It actually helps if you've been a member of BNI, because if you have been a member of BNI, you've already got lots of content ideas in your head. We show you actually in the MSP Video Academy how to come up with content that reaches into any of these content pillars as examples. So I think in the Academy, we actually show you, we come up with, I think it's 6 different pieces of content, and actually the formula to come up with those pieces of content that align with content pillars. So we show you that in the Academy, and we give you examples of how to produce helpful content that's aligned with these content pillars. Okay, so that's the strategy involved in coming up with content. I'm not going to go into extreme detail on that here. That's what the Academy is for. But once you have done 30 videos, then you can weaponize those 30 videos. Now, the way that you do this is, as I mentioned, I go live for 30 days, then I stop, because you can get burnt out doing this. When I started it back in January 2019, I went live up until middle of March. So I did it January, February, and then middle of March. So I did it for almost 90 days. And I did get a little bit of burnout. And it can also, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. But your audience will also start to notice it more than anything else. And there's a sort of freshness that's lost. So 30 days, then stop is my kind of recommendation. It works a lot better. I don't know if it's an algorithm thing as well, but if you stop and then you start back in like the following month after, it just works better for some reason organically. Don't know why that is. It's just something that I've tested. It seems to work. But within that 30 days or 60 days that you're not going live, you can actually weaponize your videos. And the way that you do that is you retarget people that have been to your website. So the last 30 days, you've been mentioning your website address every single time you went live on video. People visit your IT business website, and you retarget them. You drop a cookie on their browser. Now, I'm going to show you how this system actually works. But once you could drop that cookie on their browser, you can use what I call as engagement intelligence. And this is the whole reason for doing it on Facebook first. The actual videos work better on LinkedIn to attract an audience of potential local businesses. But there is a really cool feature on Facebook that you can't get anywhere else. So let me show you how this actually works. Let me bring up the right slide here. 2 seconds. Bring up a blank page. So daily live video, 30 days, no, 390 days. Live video. And you mention your website in those videos. In every single video, you mention your website address at least once. And if you've got a hard to pronounce website address, buy a vanity domain specifically for your videos so people can easily just type it in and it redirects to your main website. The cool thing with that is you can actually track it better as well, because if you're just using that one vanity domain, you can see how many people have actually typed in specific to videos. So they go to your website and then you retarget them with the Facebook pixel. And it drops a cookie on their browser and it allows you to set up a Facebook ads campaign where you can then show them more videos. But you do it like this. You create what is called a cold audience of 5 videos. Okay, so this is your cold audience that you show these people that have been to your website once. If I can actually work this out, I can't. This is your cold audience. Let me just put text here, cold audience. You show them these 5 videos using the Facebook retargeting pixel. The cost is minimal because there's probably not that many people to come to your website. I mean, I showed you the stats of mine. I had 1,100 for the whole year. That's more than enough for me. So you're looking at a retargeting budget of like, I don't know, probably like, it costs about 20 cents per video view. So if you've got 1,000 people over the course of a year, you can see it's quite low. It's not a lot at all. But what you do with this cold audience, and this is the engagement intelligence, is something that you can only do on Facebook, is you can tell Facebook, okay, if a user has watched X amount of time of a video, show them other videos. So the way this works is if they have watched 25% of any one of these 5 videos, and your 5 videos you've got there, your cold audience are your best videos, and 25%, you add them to your warm audience. And we have in that warm audience the other 25 videos for the month. So you show them your 5 best videos first. And if they are interested in what you're saying, you show them the other videos that you have in your arsenal. And the effect of this, if you set it up correctly within the Facebook Business Manager, is you can basically tell Facebook Business Manager if they watch 25% of the video, add them to the warm audience. And then you can state that if they watch, say, 50% of one of the videos in the warm audience, that they never get to see that video again, you show them the next video, and so on and so on. So they will see all videos eventually. What happens with this system is basically you're appearing in their timeline with new content every single day, okay? Now you can stay on Facebook Business Manager is for people that have been to your website over the last 90 days, 60 days, or 30 days. And you can set up this whole system. And what will happen is people will start to expect to see your videos. So these are people that have been to your website because they're interested in what you have to say. They've watched one of these 5 videos, so they are extremely interested in your services and what you're showing them in your video. They've watched one of those videos, or they've watched all 5 of them. Then they're in the warm audience. They're extremely warm prospects, okay? That's what this system does. And it warms them up to a state of they're either going to reach out to you, or you can introduce a lead magnet, some reason that they would enter their email address on your website. And that's something that we show you within the MSP Video Academy, how that actually works, how you can capture their actual details. So that is the weaponization of going live for 30 days. So let me just bring it back to me for a second here on my hat, which I got as it's a pretty cool Christmas present. So I've shown you, I mean, it's a high level overview what I've shown you here today. But if you were to employ this in your marketing for your IT business, I can pretty much guarantee that it will lead to business. It certainly led to a lot of business for me, and that's why I'm sitting here just now doing this video, because I know it works, and I wouldn't be showing you if it didn't work. There's no point in that for me. because the Video Academy is over 3 months. So within the Academy, if you're not getting results, we have an awesome refund policy. I won't go into the details on that refund policy here. You can see that on the MSP Video Academy website, mspvideoacademy.com. What I will go into in this video is what you get as part of the Academy. So it's a 12-week coaching course. It's over 3 months. So it's perfect timing for the new year. Our next course starts on the 13th of January, which is a Monday. And the way it works is we release a module each week. And the following week, we have a Q&A catch-up call. So any questions that you have about that module, we get together in the Q&A and I answer them personally in that Q&A, that catch-up call. And that is repeated, as I say, it's over 6 weeks. So the whole course is over a 12-week period. There are only 26 spots available. So in total, there are 30 spots. We have sold 4 of them already. We still have a little bit of time here as of recording this video. We are at 3 weeks from today. Is it 3 weeks? It's 2 weeks. So we still have a number of spots left, but they will go. I can assure you of that. And if I could spell, you would see here that the price is either it's 3 installments of $784, which is about £599. And that is fully refundable if you get nothing from this. Now you might be thinking, wow, that's quite a lot of money. That's like over $2,000, Scott. It's a lot of money. Well, guess what? It's going to lead to at least one MMR, contract. Now the way I did this math in my head was looking back at my own MSP and the MSP that I worked for, the average managed service contract, how much is that worth in your IT business? How much is that worth? For me, it was around about $1,000 a month. That was the average sort of contract size. That did not include any of the project work or any hardware upsells that we did. That was purely for the managed services. Okay, so from that figure of $1,000, you can pretty much work out that most contracts are probably worth about $36,000. So this investment in your marketing is going to lead to at least one. I can guarantee that. Okay, and that is fully refundable as well. So if you don't get any traction from the system, we have a full refund policy in place. So you can check out mspvideoacademy.com. You have it until the 12th of January. Spots are limited, 26 spots. And I'm going to leave it there tonight. I appreciate you watching this video. Take it easy. Bye-bye.